Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll tell you about how you can weigh in on changes to our county charter, and we'll look at what House of Hope does to help the community. Making headlines around the county. County Executive Leopold shed some light on Linthicum this week with installation of new street lights near the Linthicum light rail station. 2 new light poles and fixtures were installed on Shipley Road a few blocks from the station, and 9 fixtures were upgraded to sodium vapor bulbs. Over the last 5 years, County Executive Leopold has added hundreds of street lights around the county at the request of citizens who want to improve safety and security. This particular project is also in response to complaints from neighbors about the Linthicum light rail station. In February, a man was assaulted on the B&H rail near the station. One of the teens charged in the attack was recently sentenced to 10 years in prison. County Executive Leopold said of the Shipley Road project, "Something as simple as adding light to dark streets can go a long way in decreasing crime. In these difficult budget times, we can make modest investments that help make our community safer." Several other streetlight projects have gotten rave reviews from citizens, such as the now very bright corridor on Forest Drive in Annapolis. It makes the community safer, but also encourages people to get outside and walk their neighborhoods.
Well, one of the great things about living in a democracy is that you can participate in how your government operates. Now is the time you can play a role in revising our county charter. It happens every 10 years. The issue for debate first is the redrawing of the districts that make up the county council. One of the hottest topics is the creation of a new District 7 that will allow more of South County to be represented. As it stands currently, Crofton is the center of power in District 7. However, a new district is being talked about by many council members and elected officials. The next public hearing will be held on July 25th at 7 p.m. at the Arundel Center in the County Council chambers. You can find out more information by calling 410-222-1401. The committee will present its report outlining potential changes to the charter to the council in August after 3 more meetings. Its report on redistricting will be posted on our website at www.aacounty.org in the month of September. After that, the committee will start to look at other possible changes not related to redistricting. One change that has been discussed is moving to a 9-member council instead of a 7-member council. Citizens are welcome to propose further changes to the charter after the redistricting issue is complete.
This week in Hot Topics, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,472 calls for service. This included more than 1,149 emergency medical calls and 104 fire calls. This week, 1 person was killed and 4 other people were critically injured after being hit by automobiles in less than 48 hours in numerous areas around the county. With us now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. The first incident occurred around 8:45 p.m. on Tuesday, July 12, 2011, in the area of Ritchie Highway and Early Heights Road in Severna Park. At that time, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a motor vehicle collision in front of the Early Heights Fire Station. Upon arriving on the scene, units reported that 2 people had been struck by a vehicle while attempting to cross Ritchie Highway. The patients, a 17-year-old female and an 18-year-old male, both suffered life-threatening injuries as a result of the incident. They were transported to the University of Maryland's R. Adams Cali Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore via State Police helicopter. About 6 hours later, county firefighters and paramedics were called to the intersection of Montevideo Road and Belclair Court in the Jessup area of the county just before 3 a.m. on July 13, 2011. The first units to arrive reported a single vehicle accident involving a pedestrian. The patient, a male estimated to be in his mid-40s or early 50s, suffered fatal injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. And then, within a half hour of each, 2 people were hit by cars in the Glen Burnie area on Thursday, July 14, 2011. The first incident occurred around 7:30 a.m. when county firefighters received a call for a reported motor vehicle collision in the area of Crane Highway and Georgia Avenue. In this case, emergency responders found a 45-year-old male who had been struck by a vehicle at this location. And just before 8 a.m., county firefighters were called to the 5800 block of Ritchie Highway in the Brooklyn Park area of the county. Here, firefighters found a 20-year-old man who was also struck by a vehicle. In both cases, the patients suffered life-threatening injuries and were transported to shock trauma in Baltimore via ground ambulance Priority 1. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. County law enforcement officials are investigating each of these incidents. They want to remind all drivers to be on the lookout for pedestrians along county roadways and exercise caution, especially with all of the festivals, carnivals, and cookouts going on this summer.
Last month, the Anne Arundel County Office of Emergency Management, in partnership with the Department of Social Services, Health Department, American Red Cross, and the County Police Department, conducted the first full-scale shelter exercise here in Anne Arundel County. Arundel High School was opened as the location after a mock tornado damaged the county's primary shelter location, which is Annapolis High School. More than 100 volunteers came to the high school to test out the county's readiness to administer services to our citizens in times of disasters. Sleeping areas were set up in the gymnasium, and the county's new pet shelter trailer was on location to accept pets, which I understand was used to house a few cats and dogs, but no snakes. Observers and emergency management officials gave county and Red Cross staff high marks for the exercise. More preparedness exercises are planned for the near future, along with the annual Preparedness Fair, which takes place in September.
Well, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around the county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
County Executive John Leopold wants to remind all residents that an animal should never be left unattended in a vehicle during the hot summer months. Even on a mild day with the windows cracked, the temperature inside will rise quickly, causing imminent harm or death to pets. If an animal control officer sees an animal left unattended in a vehicle, a criminal citation will be written, and the owner of the vehicle must appear in court and face a potential fine of $500 and 30 days in jail. Don't put your animal in harm's way, even on a mild day. Don't leave any pets unattended in vehicles.
Welcome back. On July 13th, 2011, at approximately 5 a.m., officers from the Eastern District responded to the 7000 block of Jones Drive in Pasadena for a report of a domestic assault. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy with further details on the investigation. Justin.
Thanks, Eric. When officers arrived on scene, they located a 38-year-old female victim inside of the residence suffering from apparent lacerations to the upper body. Now, the victim was transported via ambulance by fire department personnel to Baltimore Washington Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead around 6 a.m. Now, in addition, an adult female determined to be the daughter of the 38-year-old female victim suffered lacerations and was transported to Baltimore Washington Medical Center as well for treatment of what was deemed to be non-life-threatening injuries. The adult male suspect, who was on scene, was taken into custody without incident by officers. Now, the preliminary investigation revealed that the suspect assaulted his wife inside of the home. Now, during that assault, the victim's daughter intervened and also sustained her injuries. Detectives from the homicide unit have assumed responsibility for the investigation, and right now the incident is being treated as domestic-related and isolated to the home. Detectives have conducted several interviews, collected evidence from the scene, and will be conducting a search warrant on the residence. Homicide detectives have since filed charges against the suspect. That suspect is Stephen Richard Saub, age 56, of 7729 Jones Drive in Pasadena. Saub is being charged with first and second degree murder, also with first and second degree assault. The victim has been identified as Jill Ann Saub, age 38, of that same address, 7729 Jones Drive in Pasadena. We're going to move on now to our second incident. That one took place on July 8th around 9:12 in the morning. That's when officers from the Southern District responded to the M&T Bank located in the 3100 block of Solomon's Island Road in Edgewater, for a report of a bank robbery. Now, when officers arrived on scene, they spoke with a teller who indicated that a male suspect entered the bank, demanded money. Now, no weapon was implied or brandished during that incident. The tellers complied with the demands and turned over an undisclosed amount of money to the suspect, who then fled out the front door towards the rear of the building in a westward direction. Numerous officers and a canine unit canvassed for the suspect but were unable to locate that suspect. At this time, detectives from the robbery unit have assumed responsibility for the continuation of this investigation. Anyone with any information is urged to contact Detective Clifford Van Hosen at 410-222-3469 or 3566. The suspect in this case is being described as a white male in his late 30s to early 40s, about 5'10", 190 pounds, with light facial hair. He was last seen wearing sunglasses, a navy blue Nautica t-shirt with red or orange and white lettering on the front, also wearing a dark-colored LA baseball cap with a white logo on the front, blue jean pants, and white tennis shoes. Now, as always, if you have any information on any crimes or suspects mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers Hotline. It's available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. You can also text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637. Third option, visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Justin. Sounds like we have a pretty good description of that bank robber, and hopefully someone saw him after he fled the scene.
In this week's Community Spotlight, Mark Chang talks to Anne Arundel House of Hope about its efforts to help the needy in the community. Mark?
Thanks. I'm over here inside the Doughy Dog Kitchen on Aquahart Road on the property of Arundel Christian Church, and with me today I have a whole group of people with me today. And first of all, the leadership over here from the Arundel House of Hope, the executive director of the organization, Mr. Mario Bernazzoni, and also Ms. Rhea Atkinson, who's chairwoman of the board of directors for the organization. And then I also have Mr. Ed and Miss Letha, who are employees with the Doughy Dog, and I know they're always here working very hard. And also I have Pastor Hamilton and Pastor Colburn also with me today, and they're both with the Arundel Christian Church, and which property actually hosts the Doughy Dog. First of all, I want to start off with you, Rhea, and also you're also the assistant vice president over at Bank of Glen Burnie, and thanks for all the community work you do through that role and your other role. Could you tell the folks out there who don't know about the Arundel House of Hope, what is the mission of the Arundel House of Hope?
Arundel House of Hope is a nonprofit organization that helps homeless men and women in northern Anne Arundel County.
Great. And what types of initiatives do you have in the community?
We have Winter Relief, which is during the winter month that's hosted by all the churches. We have transitional housing, permanent housing, the Doughy Dog, and we're starting a medical clinic.
Great, and I know just recently there was a ribbon cutting up in Brooklyn Park for the veterans housing, and it was a great ceremony. For folks out there who want to donate financially or give up their time, how can they get more involved?
They can come by the Doughy Dog and buy some hot dogs, or they can go to our website or stop by the office, call the office, and see what you can help.
Great. And off the top of your head right now, do you know of any current needs that folks can help out with?
The veteran housing, the new veteran housing, we need quite a bit for that once it gets built, and there's always needs for all kinds of stuff for them.
Great. Thank you very much, Rhea. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for all your hard work in your professional role and also all the extracurricular activities you do. And how are you doing, Mario?
Doing great. How are you?
Hey, great. We're inside the kitchen here, and could you tell folks out there who don't know about the Doughy Dog, what is the purpose of the Doughy Dog?
Yeah, the Doughy Dog is a supportive employment program for people that come through our programs. So we have people that come through our programs, and the Doughy Dog is basically a supportive employment, an opportunity for them to get back in the workforce, an opportunity for them to develop some skills, an opportunity for them to be able to earn some money to help them get back to where they once wanted to be independent again.
Great, and how is the operations doing over here?
It's going really great. We developed this program over a period of time to through a social enterprise model, which was to not only provide employment for people, but also as an additional source of income for the organization. A lot of nonprofits these days are trying to increase and diversify their funding, and we saw this as a way of doing that. And again, we run it like it's a business, even though the folks in our program may be in one of our programs, but we really run it like a business, and we try to support our employees so they can be successful as they move along.
Great. Besides the great food over here, is there anything else you'd like to add about the Doughy Dog?
No, it's a great program. We're over here in Glen Burnie in Arundel Christian Church, and we really would like people to come out, support the effort, and have a great hot dog. We pride ourselves in our product, and we have some of the best hot dogs in Anne Arundel County.
All right, great. Thanks very much, Mario. With me today, I have Mr. Ed and Miss Letha. How are you doing?
All right.
Great, great. And first of all, I'll start off with you, Mr. Ed. What is your role here?
I cook and do the other arrangements here with the toppings and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I just do everything, more or less.
Great. And how long have you been here?
I've been working here since March, but I've been affiliated with the House of Hope for about 3 years.
What do you find the most rewarding part of your job here?
Just seeing people enjoy it, for one thing, and a chance for me to make, a little bit of money and get back on my feet, because with the economy the way it was, I was out of work. So it's all a good thing. It really is.
All right, great. Well, Ed, I know you got to get back to work here soon, so I'm going to jump over to Miss Letha. How are you doing, Miss Letha?
Hi, how are you?
Good. And what is your role here at the Doughy Dog?
Well, I'm a cashier at the Doughy Dog and at the Arundel House of Hope. I am a receptionist at the front desk. So I play many parts.
There's all kinds of fast food restaurants out there and other restaurants out there. Why should folks come to the Doughy Dog?
Because we have very great hot dogs, and our best seller right now is the Glen Burnie too, where there's chili cheese, onions, and yellow mustard. But you can get anything you like. You can get up to 5 toppings on an overachiever, and I find people to come here the most.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Miss Letha, and thanks for all your hard work over in this Doughy Dog.
Thank you.
And also with me today, I have the pastors of the Arundel Christian Church. And first of all, I'll start off with you, Pastor Hamilton. Why did you all join up with the Arundel House of Hope?
Because we really do believe in what they're doing. As a matter of fact, our mission statement in our church consists of giving our community something to believe in, God, themselves, and each other. And when we got a chance to meet Phil Bailey and the other folks who are affiliated with the Arundel House of Hope, it kind of fit with our mission statement. So we felt that, wow, this is a worthy mission. We really want to get on board with them. And we want to create in people the incentive to get involved with each other. Because in the current economic situation and what we see here in our community, there's a lot of times that the things that we all face on a daily basis have a tendency to get us down. And so therefore, if we rally together and we're in this thing together, we do think we can accomplish some great things, besides being able to eat all the great food that comes from here. Matter of fact, we have a saying that in Arundel Christian Church that the hot dogs here, they'll make your tongue slap your brains out. That's how good they are. So we just appreciate them, appreciate all that they do as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Pastor. And shifting over to you, Pastor Colburn, could you tell us about the upcoming events, how the Arundel Christian Church is helping out with the social impact in this area?
We're just now finishing up, Mark, a kids' summer camp, low-cost summer activities in a wholesome environment. August 27, we're going to be doing what we call Project 142, which is to partner with the community and package 142,000 meals for people that are short of food. September 10, we're looking to do a vintage car show for the community, and we're hoping for folks to have a great time and to have a sense of community and neighborhood in this place for people to be able to get together.
And our trunk or treat is one of our best events. We save all year to be able to provide great wholesome activities for our kids across the street, and these wonderful folks across the street, they lend us their parking lot, and we have people in our church, they decorate their trunks of their cars, and for Halloween we give the children an alternative to a neighborhood thing to becoming a community thing where it's safe. And there's tons of candy, there's tons of fun. We provide all kinds of amusement rides. And so that's one of our big events. And all that is totally
free.
Yeah, totally free.
Okay, great. And Pastor Hamilton, for folks out there who want to get more involved in Arundel Christian Church and also the different projects that are available, what's your address and your telephone number and your website address?
Sure, 710 Aquahart Road, Glen Burnie. Our web address is www.arundelchristianchurch.org, or you can phone us at 410-768-3007.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. And folks, you heard it out there. You heard from two great organizations helping out with the social services need in Glen Burnie and also throughout Anne Arundel County. So come on down to the Doughy Dog and come and support this organization. And back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. There are so many ways to get involved, and this one in particular really serves an important need.
Well, Karla, it's almost time.
For?
I knew you were going to ask that. It's almost time to release the hounds. Next month, Downs Park will host Dog Day on the Bay. We wanted to let you know a month early so you can get started planning your costume. Part of the event, aside from the food, drinks, contests, booths, and demonstrations, will be a Dress Your Dog Hawaiian-style competition. That's right, it takes a while to find just the right Hawaiian shirt for your dog to wear. That plus the straw hats and surfboards will really impress the judges. Tickets are only $5 per dog, dogs gotta pay, and proceeds go to the Friends as well as the local pet rescue group. The event is scheduled August 20th at Downs Park in Pasadena, and for more information call 410-222-6230. And sorry cats, you're gonna have to sit this one out. But you don't have to wait until August to check out Downs Park. In this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, our own Carolyn Ryan is at the park to tell us more about what's offered there. And Carolyn, where's your Hawaiian shirt?
Thanks, Eric. Well, things are really heating up this summer. We're here at Downs Park with Ranger Stacy Bishop, and Stacy's going to tell us a little bit about all the fun things that there are to do with your family here at Downs Park. What is maybe the biggest reason people choose to come to Downs Park?
I think our biggest draw, of course, is the Chesapeake Bay. Despite the fact that Anne Arundel County is surrounded by water, we have very few places that are publicly accessible. We have 2,000 feet of beautiful Chesapeake Bay bayfront, and folks love to come down and kind of sightsee. We also have a dog swimming beach that people can let their pets off leash and they can go take a dip in the bay. So that's very popular as well.
Very good. And what types of family-friendly activities do you have going on at the park?
Well, we have 2 weeks left of our very popular day camp. Every Sunday in June and July we have summer concerts. So for 3 more weeks we have some concerts on Sunday evenings to enjoy. The playground is always very popular. We have 5 miles of trails, 3.5 of which are paved and certainly bicycle friendly and rollerblade friendly for families.
Great. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun things for people to do here at Downs Park and enjoy this beautiful visitor center as well.
For sure, yeah. This was a labor of love when we got the extension for the building. The park rangers put this all together for folks, and the kids love to come in and see the animals, so that's always a treat. Speaking of animals, we also have our captive birds of prey, which are permanently injured, but they are in the aviary and folks can go visit them anytime.
Great. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun things for people to do here at Downs Park. Thank you very much for being on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. I love Downs Park, and I've been going there all my life.
Well, is your parent about to move in with you because mom or dad can't live alone anymore? Mary Felter is with us to tell us about some workshops coming up that will prepare potential caregivers for what to expect when caring for a loved one. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today, I'm happy to welcome back Mary Fridley, who is the founder of Gero Resources, LLC, and a registered nurse. She also is a consultant to the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities and has spoken at many conferences here and nationally. Welcome to the program, Mary.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I asked you to come because we're going to have some workshops this summer that you're going to be doing, and I thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about them.
Okay. Well, the workshops are coordinated through the Department of Aging and Disabilities through their Family Caregiver Program, which is part of the National Family Caregiver Support Program. That program was developed to assist caregivers to take care of loved ones, disabled older loved ones in their homes.
So I understand they're called Caregiver 101 and Caregiver 102.
Right.
It's kind of a play on the college course level number.
Kind of.
Are they difficult, like a college course?
No testing, no testing. We don't have any tests. But what we found out were that people really, especially when they're new to caregiving, really don't know what to expect. They don't know how to do it. Many people actually take on the job by default because they happen to be in the right place at the right time to do it. So they come into it blindly and they don't know what to do. How do I do this? So these programs, these workshops are going to teach caregivers how to do that, take care of their loved ones at home. We have Caregiver 101 and 102.
What is 101 going to cover?
101 we're going to cover things like discharge planning, how to prepare for discharge for a loved one from a hospital or a rehab center. Also how to choose a rehab center and advocate while your loved one is there. What to do when they come home, managing medication, managing incontinence if that happens to be a problem, and managing nutrition and hydration, which if we're dealing with people who have a dementia, for instance, that can be pretty tricky.
And when is this going to be offered?
They're going to be, Caregiver 101 is offered July 30th, it's a Saturday, from 9 to 12 at the Arnold Senior Activity Center on 44 Church Road in Arnold, right next to the Safeway.
And 102 is going to cover what? How is it going to differ? Is it more difficult? Or?
No, it's not. Actually, just a continuation of 101. People don't necessarily have to come to 101 first before they come to 102, but it's nice to have that continuation of the course into 102 because I will refer back many times to 101. But in 102, we're going to talk about essential home care skills for caregivers.
And what sort of things are those?
That? Well, how to safely or successfully, I should say, bathe a loved one. And if somebody has a dementia, that can be difficult too, just like nutrition and hydration. How to get them to take a shower, how to take them get a bath, bathe them at the sink, bathe them in bed, those kind of things. Transfer somebody. What if somebody can't get up and walk by themselves? They need help transferring from maybe the bed to a chair or even from a wheelchair to a car. And we're going to teach them how to use a gait belt, which is also called a safety belt, in maneuvering them so that everybody's protected from harm.
And what kind of behavior problems are you going to address?
We do have some behavior problems that we'll talk about. I'm going to ask, of course, participants what they're dealing with and want to address those first. Some of them I'm sure I'm going to hear about are bathing issues, getting dressed, changing clothes, staying hydrated.
Sometimes they don't like living where they're living.
Oh,
though.
my goodness, yes.
The client wants to go home.
Yeah, they don't realize they are home. They just don't understand. They can't make sense of what's going on. So they do want to go home. Even if they've been in that home for 40 years, they may ask to go home.
And they might actually already be there.
They could be there. That's correct.
So when is 102 going to be offered?
102 is offered in August 13th, which is also a Saturday, from 9 to 12. Same location, Arnold Senior Activity Center at 44 Church Road in Arnold.
Is there a cost for these workshops?
No, they're free, fortunately. We have two sponsors, which we're very delighted about. We have Heartfields of Severna Park, and we also have Seasons Hospice. Thank you very much. Seasons Hospice, which have offered to sponsor the workshops. Now, the department is very grateful for their donations, really. It's wonderful, but as you know, we cannot recommend or endorse one over the other.
Right. But we are grateful for them because
oh my goodness, yes.
by having these sponsors, we're able to put it on because there's always an expense involved, and we want caregivers to be able to come without having to do that. I know they have to register. Is there a phone number they should call?
Yes, they can call the Department of Aging and Disabilities at 410-222-4464, and that would be extension 3043. Or they can actually register online also at www.aacounty.org/Maryland. No, aging, sorry.
I'll repeat it for you. It's www.aacounty.org/aging.
Aging, right. And they can scroll down to caregiver workshops.
Well, I really appreciate your coming and letting people know about the caregiver workshops. We know that the clients or the people that call the department are looking for some guidance. So thank you very much for putting these on with the department.
You're welcome. I was delighted to do it.
Thank you for coming here today. This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and you've been listening to Mary Fridley, who's going to be directing Caregiver 101, Caregiver 102 this summer. And if you have questions or want to register, the number again, 410-222-4464, extension 3043. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. We want to do our part to help family members, but that sometimes involves more than just moving them in. It's good to be prepared.
Finally, folks, we want to recognize the sad passing of a local businessman who is beloved in our community. Bob Bell died this week of leukemia. He was 78 years old. He built 7 car dealerships, including one on Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie. Bob Bell was known for his funny commercials, but he was also a friend to many of us, including myself and County Executive Leopold. According to the Associated Press, Bell was born and raised in Alexandria, Virginia, and served with the Army Corps of Engineers during the Korean War. He opened his first dealership, Academy Ford in Laurel, in 1962. He gave generously to charities and served on several boards. He will be missed. Sad news. I know Bob Bell is a staple in North County and Glen Burnie, going up to that dealership. So
yeah.
A lot of people will miss him. A lot of people love watching him play the piano on TV, but 78.
Yeah.
Did a lot of
I
things
think
for
he's
the
a very
community.
recognized figure, at least for all of those commercials.
That's right. Should run for public office. He'd win. Speaking of summertime, because I know we're going to talk about some summertime things before we end the show, the All-Star Game. The All-Star Game always, baseball, of course,
Yes.
I'm talking about, always signifies
I got that much.
the middle of summer. Summer's half over when the All-Star Game's played.
Has it happened yet?
Yeah, I knew you'd say that. It happened last week. It happened this week. They played on Tuesday. It was the lowest ever watched All-Star Game.
I have to say I was not one of the people who watched it.
I watched it. Sports. There's nothing else on. That's the only sport really on TV in the
Yeah.
summer. It's a shame. I mean, the classic baseball is starting to die away a little bit.
I think it was competing with Harry Potter this week, Erik.
Harry who?
Maybe if it came out a different week.
Who's Harry Potter?
Who's Harry Potter? You silly muggle. Who is Harry Potter?
Who's Harry Potter?
The final movie's
I know
coming
who Harry
out this
Potter
weekend,
is.
Erik.
Doesn't he? What does he play? He plays a sport. They play Quidditch, don't they? That's
Quidditch.
Quidditch.
Close.
Okay.
Yes. He was the seeker on the Quidditch team.
What does that do? Is that
What
like
does
a
he do?
goalie?
No. A
What's a
goalie's a
seeker?
keeper.
Okay, a
Yeah,
keeper.
a seeker, he had to find the golden snitch, which is this little ball that zooms around the Quidditch pitch.
A seeker, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe
that's
he
what
was
you
the
want your
youngest
kids to grow up
seeker.
to be. You be a seeker.
Yes. They have to have good flying skills on brooms, though, so.
They fly on brooms.
Yes. How do you think you play Quidditch? On the ground?
Listen, I'm going to talk about a sport I know something about. Well, let's end the show with a great summer sports story, and we're going to close this one out. The Seminoles of the Severn Athletic Club went 4-0 in the 12 and under division, beating UMAC 11-4 to capture their second straight Maryland State Championship and gain a berth into the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament. 10 teams representing various areas through Delaware, Maryland, Southern and Northern New Jersey, Eastern and Metro New York will participate in the tournament, which will be played in Springfield, Pennsylvania, July 27th through August 1st. The winner of this tournament will travel to California to play in the Cal Ripken World Series. Good luck to the Seminoles as they play baseball, not Quidditch, on their successful season. That's going to wrap it up, Karla. That's the show.
That's it.
That's the show. Go watch your Harry Potter movie. That wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.